guys, it's time to talk about peer review. I know peer review is not everybody's favorite topic, but it is important that we practice some peer review, especially with all the different multi-genre pieces that we're working on. So before we jump in, let me give you some background on why it's important to do peer review, and maybe you want to pass this information on to your students because they're also going to question why it's important. But peer review has lots of benefits. It helps your students learn from each other because sometimes, the teacher can explain things 8 times, but the student isn't receptively hearing it. They might hear it from somebody else. Peer review helps students identify and articulate strengths and weaknesses in other people's writing, and that builds their metacognition in their own writing, which is very powerful. It allows students to explore different techniques and style. They may think a short story is always written in this one way, and then they read somebody else's. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you could do that with writing." Okay, so it's a good way to just expose your students to different kinds of writing and for them to learn from each other. It builds critical thinking skills and it strengthens students' evaluation skills, and those are very high level learning skills, but yet very important. So when it comes to peer review, it's important that you teach your students how to peer review, and had we been face-to-face longer, we would have done this in class, but alas, we cannot. I think we talked about the question and the margin technique. I think we did that at the beginning of the semester, but I honestly can't remember. But one technique it's called internal revision, where the author looks at their own writing and they write questions about their writing in the margins, and then they share those questions with their peer review person. And so the second person, the review person, would answer those questions. That's a very powerful internal way to start the revision process. Another way is called external revision, where somebody is revising your paper for you, but the conversation that you have about the writing is where it's at. That's the most important part. Some things to consider when you are doing peer review: get specific. We're not going to just say, "Oh yeah, your paper is good." Good is great, but we need to know why it's good. We need to know what it's lacking, what it could use. If there's any places where there's confusion or things are not clear. So in order to be a good peer reviewer, I like to think of positive, constructive, and positive. So find if something positive to say about their writing that's not as good, but get specific, like, "Oh my gosh, I really like the dialogue between these two characters. It's very powerful." Or, "Wow, the interior monologue that your character used really makes your story come alive," or whatever. You need to do some digging. Find something positive to say. Look for something instructive to say. So perhaps you're like, "I think if you added some dialogue in this place right here where this character is reliving this story, maybe add some dialogue and that would help strengthen it." So find something constructive to say. It's not mean, it's not negative, it's constructive. So something that you can help with. And then I like to always finish with another positive. That's one method. I feel like we're doing a crash course in peer review, and that makes me sad, but this is what we're in right now with the quarantine. The other thing I need you to know is that I assigned peer review in Canvas for each of our writing pieces for the multi-genre project. This is the first time I've used the peer review button, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but it'll be interesting. So Canvas, I set it to automatically assign peer review to one person to each of you. So as more people submit, Canvas is going to magically do some matchmaking and make you be a peer reviewer for somebody else. I do believe I have access to that. I get to see what you all say to each other in the peer review process. So make sure you're doing it. Okay, this is very powerful. I'm not expecting this to go perfectly because this is new to us and we couldn't try it face to face first. So we're going to learn together about what the peer review process in Canvas is like. I hope it goes well. If it doesn't, let me know if there are any issues, things aren't working well, like you can't access each other's work, whatever. Let me know because I am learning this right alongside you right now. But yeah, do look forward. So we're going to try it with the first two narrative pieces. If it goes well, and I hope it does, we will continue the peer review process for the rest of the multi-genre project. But just know that I already opened the Dropbox and Canvas for your first two narrative pieces, and you will be assigned one person as a peer review partner for your narrative writings. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.